going super, super For today's video, we are going to be talking about my perfumes that I've been wearing for this summer. September is here, which only means that it's already fall, in my mind anyways. And I love fall. But before we say goodbye to summer, I do want to share with you some of the fragrances I really loved. And we are doing this soft-spoken because it has been highly requested since I've been doing a lot of whispering. But when I read off the notes, I will whisper them for you. Just add a little bit of the whispers for the ones that love the whispers. So let's begin. I have my list of perfumes and notes right here. So you will see a theme with the fragrances that I like to wear in the summer. I like citrus florals. I like floral woody musks. I like fruity musks. I like fruity florals, things of that nature. I'm not really someone who wears gourmands, which are typically sweeter fragrances that smell like edible treats or drinks. But I do have some of those in my collection, but I don't wear them often, only when I'm in a certain mood. So let's begin with one of my favorite fragrance houses. And I guess let's talk about two things real quick. The first thing is that if you like this content where I talk about fragrances, I do have a fragrance TikTok called Pieces of Saraity. Pieces of Saraity. And if you want to learn more about the fragrances that I've been trying, enjoying, reviews, fragrances of the day, go check out my TikTok. I will leave it linked down below. Also, I have a Missere, which is another question that I often get asked, and I do sell my fragrances on there. I am trying fragrances all the time, especially since I love reviewing them on my TikTok, and I just love trying new things. So I am constantly figuring out what I like, and oftentimes I tend to declare the things that I'm not using in my collection. So I have Missere also linked down below. Okay. So the first fragrance that I want to talk about is Leas Floating. Leas Floating. And I will say, as I've been experimenting more and more with fragrances, I've realized that I really love niche fragrance houses. I love indie fragrance houses, and I haven't really been attracted all too much to the new designer fragrances. Not to say that I don't love some of the designer fragrances that they have to offer, but there's something really special about these niche fragrance houses. So this is Leas, and this is Leas Floating. This smells like peaches and clean linen. It smells like fresh air. It smells like you're enjoying a picnic with your loved one. But this is definitely clean girl coated. It's definitely fresh and a little bit fruity, but the peach in here is very fresh. There's nothing syrupy about this peach. You can almost smell the fuzzy skin from the peach. This smells like a bottled memory. And that's what I love about Leas. All of their fragrances smell like a bottled memory. There's a little nostalgia in all of them. So let me go ahead and read you the main accords. We have fruity, citrus, sweet, musky, powdery, fresh, spicy, woody, floral, and aromatic. Now the notes: linen, peach, bergamot, wild orchid, and Sequoia woods. I do really love the woody base. Everything in here is quite blended to perfection. I can't see anyone not liking this scent. And the first time I smelled this, my jaw dropped because I had never smelled anything quite like this. So, this is Leas Floating. This could be a perfect signature scent, and I have even recommended this for a bridal scent as well. It is just really special, really special. So there is that. Then next we have Leas Lucian. I have tried every fragrance from this brand, and I have a couple full bottles, and all of them are my babies. I can't really choose a favorite. But Lucian, I would say, would be the most summer fragrance of them all. This is a very coastal scent. This is definitely much more floral than the last one. You can smell a little bit of salty air. You can smell the magnolia. I love magnolia. It's a citrus floral. It's quite zesty. We have citruses up at the top. I believe we have pitaya as well, which is a dragon fruit. It is gorgeous. It reminds me of the beach side. It reminds me of collecting fireflies at night. It's so beautiful. So this one here is citrus, floral, marine, aquatic, aromatic, fresh, and salty. The top notes are lemon zest, pomelo. Middle notes are magnolia, water lily, and pitaya. And the base notes are C notes and ambergris. If you are looking for a beachy scent that does not smell like sunscreen, that is aquatic but doesn't smell too astringent or too harsh or too cologne-y like some aquatic scents can smell like, then this may just be for you. It is really stunning. I would say if you are into philosophy, I think in general you would love the House of Leas. And there is something for everyone with this house. But this is also very clean girl coated as well, all while giving coastal vibes. And their bottles are quite simplistic. Okay. So, next up, we have my current obsession. And this is another house that I absolutely love. This is Regime de Fleur's Crushed Fruits. Look at the bottle. The bottle is everything. Am I right? It's flat on one side. And this little bubble cap changes colors depending on the fragrance. I'm not quite sure what color this is. I want to say it's like a cool toned beige, I guess. But yes, we have crushed fruits. And this smells like muddled fruits, crushed skins of the fruits, the seeds of the fruits. It's sweet, it's tart, it's tangy. There is a little bit of that 90s nostalgia. It kind of smells like a 90s shampoo, maybe herbal essences, in the best way possible. And this fragrance is cradled by this beautiful orris that is so just powdery and ethereal. I personally love orris, which is the root of the iris flower. This is gorgeous. This is definitely a more elevated fruity scent. So I find that sometimes fruity scents can be a little bit juvenile, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I wanted something that felt a little more grown up, and this does that for me. So this is fruity, sweet, iris, rose, and powdery. Those are the accords. For the notes, we have peach, plum, and raspberry at the top. The middle notes are orris, rosehip, and jasmine sambuck. And the base notes are pineapple, bitter orange, and amber. I love that we have plum at the top, which you can definitely smell, and then we have a juicy pineapple for the base of the fragrance. It's really quite different. Again, I've never smelled anything quite like this. Yeah, it is so good. So good. And I am a light sprayer. I also am constantly sampling fragrances. Sometimes I don't wear my full bottles because I'm sampling and doing my fragrance research. But this is a slight dent for me. A slight dent for me, okay? I know you're like, you're crazy. But that's a lot for me because this is a brand new fragrance in my collection. And I just can't get enough of it. It's so good. Yeah. I love Regime de Fleur because a lot of their fragrances give off this like old school 90s classic type of fragrance that I personally really gravitate towards, but still maintaining that modern quality. It's like meshing the two together so beautifully. It just works. So okay. Next up we have Perfumes de Marly Valaya. I actually sold Delina. I think Delina is beautiful. Delina is a rose and lychee fragrance. But I found that there was a sharpness in that particular fragrance, and I don't know if it was the rhubarb or the vetiver. I want to say it was the rhubarb, but it could very well be the vetiver. Sometimes that does that for me. But oh my goodness, so I discovered this fragrance through Scentbird. I had heard about it, but I didn't have any plans to get another Perfumes de Marly fragrance, just because, you know, I didn't have the worst experience with Delina, but I knew that was a fragrance that I was eventually going to declutter, and so I didn't know if I was ever going to find a fragrance from this house that I would enjoy in its entirety. But I tried my Scentbird, and I fell in love with this fragrance. So with this, I would say the hype is absolutely real. Also, these bottles are always so stunning. This one in particular is a frosted glass bottle. We have the lovely floral embossing. It looks like it's been trimmed with lace. And we have the tassels, the famous tassels. And this particular tassel is white to contrast nicely with the bottle. And then we have the cap with the gem in the center. So gorgeous. We also have the notes on the back, so I guess I could just read the notes to you off of the back. But let's look at the accords. The main accords are musky, citrus, fresh, white floral, aldehydic, powdery, amber, woody, fruity, and floral. So with this fragrance, I absolutely love the aldehydes. Aldehydes to me smells like taking a deep breath of fresh air, clean, fresh air. This is very crisp, very clean. Again, another clean girl coated scent, because I personally love that profile. The peach in here gives it a little uplifting fruitiness. And we have this enveloping musk at the base. I didn't think that I would enjoy this because this has ambroxan, but the ambroxan is never too much. I will say that this is beast mode, and whenever I have a fragrance that has ambroxan in it, the fragrance tends to really have amazing longevity. So that's what I love about ambroxan, but sometimes it can amplify notes that I don't particularly like. So with this, it just amplifies all of the notes that I love. The aldehydes, the peachiness. I'll read the notes. We have bergamot, mandarin, and white peach. We have orange blossom, nympheal, and vetiver at the mid. And the base notes are agate wood, ambrophix, and vanilla. So yes, this does have vanilla. And this is a very clean vanilla. There's nothing really too sweet about this. I think that this just lends a slight creaminess to this fragrance, and I mean a slight creaminess. Overall, this just balances the fragrance. This has 8 to 12 hours of longevity. This projects. You're gonna have a scent bubble all around you. This is a great special occasion kind of scent. But yet this is definitely signature scent worthy. I don't think that this would offend anyone at the office, because even though this is quite beast mode, again, it's very clean, like fresh air. I really love how Perfumes de Marly describes the scent. A luminous aura, and at the same time, an intangible softness, like the scent of fresh cotton. Valaya unfolds a sensual fragrance nuance dedicated to the power of femininity. Beyond the artificial and beyond time, it awakens an intimate feeling, a universal emotion, a deep breath of mindfulness. Its formula evokes the delicate and pure skin of a woman in all its beauty. One of the biggest challenges was to create a fragrance that is fresh and delicate, but at the same time, very powerful and expressive. Valaya is reminiscent of the feel of cotton against the skin, a cocoon-like perfume that is sensual and elegant at the same time. A white perfume full of contrast that is delicate, yet incredibly alluring. I love that. That says it all. Says it all. Okay, so the next one is this beauty. This is from Initio, and this is Initio Musk Therapy. Initio Musk Therapy. The name is at the top here. Initio Musk Therapy. This is, again, a citrus, floral, woody musk, I guess you could say. But there is a creaminess to the scent as well. And if I could compare this to a designer fragrance, I would compare this to Mont Blanc Signature, also in a white bottle. They are very, very similar. I actually have that one still in my collection. I'm thinking about decluttering it only because I have this one, but I love them both, and there are subtle differences, so we'll see. This also has magnolia, and you'll notice that I love wearing magnolia in the summer. I'm a floral girly through and through. So I believe there's 2 different musks in this fragrance to make it extra musky. So the main accords are citrus, musky, floral, powdery, fruity, woody, green, fresh, spicy, and aromatic. The notes: white musk, musk, black currant, bergamot, mandarin orange, magnolia, white sandalwood, and hedione. So I believe the sandalwood is offering that creaminess. Sometimes sandalwood can give off that soft, creamy vibe to the base of the fragrance. This almost smells like a luxurious lotion. And I love wearing this on its own, but I love wearing this layered with other fragrances as well. This is just, again, a perfect like signature fragrance, but if you like citrus florals or musky fragrances in general, this would be amazing. Also, if you have tried Mont Blanc and you enjoy that one, you should definitely give this a go. But this is pretty much a fluffy white cloud in a bottle. And the musks in here are a very clean musk, so I don't want you to think that this is like an animalic type of musk. This is a clean musk. It's so nice. It's so nice. This is similar to Valaya in the sense that it is also kind of like a beast mode type of scent. You're gonna have a scent bubble. It projects, it has longevity, but it's soft. This is soft, but still present. I will say that you do smell the fruits at the top in the beginning. So you will smell that blackcurrant and the citruses. And then it turns into a much more creamy, musky floral scent. Okay, next up is this beauty. This is from Missere. This has been on my wish list for a very long time. This is Bois Iridescent. Bois Iridescent. And I love that it has the creator on the bottom here. Creation Alberto Morillas. And I love the house of Missere. They do make a lot of like powdery scents, which I personally love. A lot of their scents are quite like elegant. They have For Your Love, which is similar to Baccarat Rouge 540, but it has this like raspberry note in it. We also have a Treasure, which is like a beachy type of scent. It's like a salty vanilla. There's many in the line that are very, very beautiful. But this one here is a citrus floral as well. I think it's described as a woody floral musk. But this is very similar to Prada Infusion in the 80s, which is probably in my top 10 fragrances of a life. So I do like my designer fragrances. We have an M here. And I knew that this was very similar to that one, but like the niche take on that fragrance. So I had to have it. And it is just that. This is gorgeous. What makes this unique is the ambergris note. And back in the day, ambergris was cultivated by whale intestines. Yeah. I don't think that they do that anymore though. But that's how you get that sort of animalic ambery musk. So ambergris can give off like a salty, musky type of vibe. Oftentimes it smells like skin, like musky skin. So it does a lot of amazing things. This is very ethereal, it's very sparkling. We have the note of iris, which I love, which gives off a bit of powderiness. But some people say that this fragrance makes them sad. Like it could be sort of a depressive kind of scent. And I think because this doesn't lean warm, this leans very cool. I can see why people would say that. I personally love cool fragrances because they're very pensive. I love wearing fragrances that lean cooler because in a way they help me be present. They help me focus on particular tasks that I have to do that day. They also just give off this very strong presence, like they give you strength in a way. So if there's like something important that you need to get done and maybe you feel a little bit of anxiety about it and you need a fragrance that is going to make you feel bold, a cooler fragrance can do that. Yeah. So anyways, Missere Bois Iridescent. The main accords are citrus, woody, powdery, iris, ozonic, green, fresh, spicy, amber, and aquatic. So the notes at the top we have bergamot, mandarin orange, and helione. At the mid we have iris and violet leaf, and at the base we have the sandalwood and ambergris. If you're like me and you enjoy the scent of iris, I think that this is one that you should definitely check out. So again, it starts out quite citrusy, then you get that cool powdery iris and the muskiness of the ambergris. The sandalwood gives a little bit of warmth so that it's not too cool. But overall, it is very well balanced. I would say that this one is quite soft of a fragrance, so it's not a super projector, but it's more than just a skin scent. So there you have it. Next up, we have Elio from Diptyque. Elio. This is a limited edition scent. It comes out every summer repackaged. I think this was probably the second year it came out. So the second repackaging of the scent with the sun. This is another iris fragrance. I love iris. This is the back. It's quite foggy because of my body oils and lotions that I tend to layer with my fragrances. So my bottles get all fogged up. But you see here the prickly pear. And this does indeed have a prickly pear note. I would describe this one as a fruity floral. We have a diptyque embossed on the top here. Their bottles are iconic. This is also quite a soft scent as well. This is also quite a simplistic fragrance. I'll reach the notes in a bit, but this prickly pear is definitely the star of the show. It is quite juicy. Prickly pear smells quite fruity, so it gives off a little bit of sweetness to this fragrance and almost this watery like essence to this fragrance, this translucency. It's a very texturial translucency that runs through this. It's really quite beautiful. I've never smelled anything quite like this as well. It's another fragrance that when I first sprayed it, I was like, this is just too good. Like, everyone needs to smell this. And even though this comes out in the summer, I would definitely wear this all year round. This is gorgeous. So the main accords, we have iris, powdery, citrus, white floral, fruity, violet, earthy, floral, fresh, spicy, and woody. The notes are very simple. We have prickly pear, iris, bergamot, and jasmine. To be honest, I love jasmine, but I do not smell jasmine in this. Maybe ever so slightly in the background. If anything, it's just a supporting note. But you get a little bit of the bergamot. But mainly it's the prickly pear and the iris. And the iris is powdery. It almost reminds me of like a rice powder. It has almost this starchy quality to it. Like, I almost picture this juice to be like milky in the way that it smells on my skin. It's really quite interesting. If they put rice as one of the notes in here, I would absolutely believe them. But it's the iris that is doing that. It's really quite interesting. I just find this to be a very unique summer scent that I think anyone would fall in love with. It's non-offensive. If you want something a bit fruity but a bit different, this may just be the gal for you. Again, if you are someone that doesn't really like heavy perfumes, you don't want the perfume to wear you, this would be perfect. Okay. Next up, we have this beauty from a new fragrance house called Rowan. R-O-A-N. Rowan. They have 3 fragrances in their line, all based on tea. So this is a tea fragrance. This is Darjeeling tea. And this is Porcelain Pulse. Porcelain Pulse. Their other 2 fragrances are Current Culture, which is like a laundry type of scent with a tea note. And then we have Mountain Memories. So this one is the one that I absolutely fell in love with because it has this fruitiness, it has this spiciness, and this depth. Some say that this also has like a laundry type of accord in the background, and I can kind of sense that, like this cleanness in the background. But I think that is just the fruitiness of this scent, and there's so many wonderful notes in this fragrance. We have hay, which I love hay because this gives off like this dry texture to a fragrance that is just so addicting to smell. We also have carrot in here, which gives off this vegetal sweetness. We have apricot, I believe it's dried apricot. And I love anything with stoned fruits. This is just glorious. Very, very unique. This is definitely much more of a warmer fragrance. I love tea and fragrances because they're so comforting, so unique. Tea fragrances are never too heavy, which I really love. And although I love this in the summer, this can take you all year round. This would also be so perfect for the fall as well. There's an earthiness to this fragrance as well. I love a good earthy fragrance. Yeah, this house in general is something to really just applaud. Blended to perfection. So the main accords are fruity, green, sweet, powdery, soft spicy, musky, herbal, fresh, and fresh spicy. And the notes, let's get the notes here. We have at the top we have carrot, black tea, pear, cardamom, and rhubarb. The cardamom is definitely giving that spice. The middle notes are dried apricot, darling black tea, lily, and peony. And the base notes are hay, musk, tobacco, amber, and vetiver. Now, in this particular fragrance, I find that the tobacco is a little sweet. It's a sweet tobacco. Nothing too smoky in this fragrance. Again, incredibly blended. You can smell all the notes, but they're all just together in beautiful harmony. This is definitely a fragrance that is not linear. It takes you places, which I absolutely love. So it'll start out quite fruity, then a little spicy. Again, you're going to get some of that vegetal sweetness as well. You have the dryness of the hay, a little sweet smokiness from the tobacco, a little greenness. I mean, this has it all. This has it all. It's incredible. So good. Fruity tea, but make it spicy, make it deep, make it thought-provoking. So that is Porcelain Pulse. I'll actually read you a little bit of what they have to say about this. The parlor buzzes and hums. It is alive with exuberance and delight of conversation. With a porcelain teapot as your hostess, you feel the anticipation mounting to be part of the flow. Indulge in the present moment, which will always be unique and never repeated. A warm, earthy fragrance that captures the energy of captivating conversations, opening with the intriguing sweetness of carrot, rhubarb, and pear, followed by an alluring blend of delicate white florals, cozy tobacco, and exquisite darling tea. Beautiful. Beautiful. The rhubarb also offers this tartness that is never sharp. So I love it. Okay, so next up, this is when Fragrantica got a little crazy. Didn't want to work with me, so we're just working with what we have now. So this is Nermohi. And this is from the House of Perfume, which is an Australian-based brand. I believe they also have 3 fragrances in their collection, maybe a 4th. But this is gorgeous. This is also like taking a deep breath of fresh air. But this fresh air is quite cool. Okay, it's opening up those nasal passages, which I personally need because my nose has been clogged for more than a month. But this has a mint note, which is effervescent and cooling. We also have magnolia, which you already know how I feel about magnolia. We have this moss accord as well, and this gorgeous musk. So all in all, this smells like a waterfall. Okay, the water is splashing down on these like moss covered wet stones. This smells very mineral without having like a mineral accord. But it smells like where a fairy would live. It's very magical. Another transportive scent. This is another scent that is quite long lasting as well. The musk is, again, like it's a cloud over you. But it's just really, really gorgeous. I love moss or oak moss in fragrances. You don't see them all too often. The oak moss in here is from a molecule called Evernil. I don't think you can cultivate or use the raw oak moss material anymore in fragrances. But yeah, this is just absolutely gorgeous. This is a beautiful breeze. This smells like morning air. There is a dewiness as well. I think that's coming from the floral, the magnolia. So it's really, really gorgeous. I could see this being a great fragrance for both the spring and summer. So there is that. Next up, we have, oh yes, Byredo's Animalique. I am also quite obsessed with this fragrance. I love Byredo in general. I think they make amazing fragrances. I literally want them all. So when I first smelled this smelled very familiar to me. It smells very similar to another fragrance that I have in my collection, Theo Cabanel's Ooh La La, which is like hazelnut, and it's very like warm and nutty. And this has a similar vibe. This has notes that I really, really love. We have suede in this fragrance. We also have mimosa, and I love mimosa. It's a yellow floral. I love leather, suede in fragrances as well. I don't know why it's called Animalique. I wouldn't really describe this as a animalic fragrance. I can see where they were going, I guess. Maybe due to like the suede accord. But let's see how they describe this fragrance. Animalique plugs into the common element in all humanity, our authentic essence and primal instincts, the feeling of euphoric dancing under disco lights, of biological, illogical attraction, of being carried away by the great sweep of vibration. Fresh top notes of lemon and bergamot give way to a warm floral heart of mimosa and violet before the fragrance takes its final plunge into the feral atmosphere of suede, amber, and tobacco leaf. So this fragrance actually has similar notes to Ooh La La. I believe Ooh La La also has a tobacco note as well. But this one is a much more lighter, translucent version of that, especially with the citrus top notes. It's much more brighter, not as dense. And I find that Ooh La La is leaning more like gourmand, where this does have that warmth of the tobacco and the suede, of course, but it's never leaning gourmand. It's really, really beautiful. It has this sort of like velvet texture to it. But yeah, there is this opening that smells like gasoline, as some people like to say. And I actually had my youngest daughter smell this because she's one of those people who love the smell of gasoline. So I was like, how is she gonna feel about this? Is she gonna call it out? I didn't say anything, and she was like, oh my gosh, this smells like gasoline. So it's definitely approved for all the gasoline lovers. Now the gasoline opening, that dissipates. I actually find it quite like endearing. Like I like that part of it. It's giving a little bit of weird, which I love weird in fragrances. Sometimes when a fragrance is like too pretty, I'm like, don't really like it. There is no, weird factor to this. There's nothing that is unique about it. I need something more. So I like that. I like it a lot. So, but yeah, the violet, it's a similar Byredo violet. Violet is in a lot of Byredo fragrances, and it gives off this slight powderiness. It has like a similar muskiness that you would find in like Mojave Ghost. It's gorgeous. I love it. I love it. This is also like unisex, especially with the suede and tobacco. It's good. It's good. Okay, so next up, we're gonna go with Yoga. I find that Yoga is very similar to Porcelain Pulse, not in the way that they smell per se, but I guess their overall vibe. This is very spa-like. This is giving yoga mom. You like rocking the essential oils, but you want to step it up and you want to wear a big girl perfume. No, but this is Usivert's Yoga. Joga. It's right there. You can barely see it. I love this house in general. Oh, this is so good. I get this like visceral reaction where if something smells so good, I'm like, oh, I'm mad about it. I don't know why. Maybe because I can't eat it. I'm mad. Love the wooden top. This is also like fresh spicy. It's spicy in general. I believe this also has cardamom in it as well. And maybe the turmeric that makes it a bit spicy, but there is so many like earthy, fresh, spicy components to this fragrance as well. We have mate in this fragrance, so there's a little bit of greenness. We have magnolia as well. You already know. But this just smells like a 5-star hotel, right? It smells like the lobby of a 5-star hotel. Like I can see this being a hotel's signature scent. It's okay. So the top notes are Italian bergamot, cardamom, blackcurrant, and petitgrain. The heart notes are upcycled turmeric leaf, magnolia oil, green mate, black pepper. The base notes are vetiver, jasmine, and white amber. So, as you can see, we have a little bit of greenness in this fragrance. We have petitgrain, green mate, vetiver. And we also have cardamom and turmeric that gives a little bit of spice. And of course the black pepper. The black pepper just kind of grounds this fragrance. So it's never too sweet. It's never too citrusy. It smells like a citrus spicy tea with some beautiful florals. And we have like this woody green base. It's gorgeous. I love it. It's very zen. This is a very calming, transportive scent. Next up, we have this fun one. I love the bottle. This is Ariel Shoshana Friday. What is your favorite day of the week? My favorite day of the week is Thursday because I still can look forward to Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I feel like once Friday's here, Saturday and Sunday, they're gone in a flash. So I love me a Thursday because I still have a lot to look forward to. That's how I see it. But Friday, as you would kind of expect from the bottle, is very bright, very uplifting. It's very fresh. We have sweetness from honeysuckle. I love honeysuckle. I kind of went through this like honeysuckle phase, like a hyperfixation, and then honeysuckle started making me feel very nauseous. This is what I do to myself. And then I started decluttering some of my honeysuckle fragrances because I was like, I don't need all of them. So this is one that has stayed in my collection. I love it so very much. It has this super bright opening that almost reminds me of Irish Spring, like this soap. Is it called Irish Spring? I think so. And I love that super bright, clean, straight in the shower kind of scent in the beginning. Like it wakes you up. So let's read a description of this fragrance. An enchanted garden of honeysuckle, grapefruit blossom, and crushed leaves. Friday is open sky optimism, the euphoric promise of the weekend just over the horizon. So the notes are bergamot, bitter orange, honeysuckle, Bartlett pear, grapefruit blossom, sweet pea, mimosa, and white cedar. I'm actually going to spray this one because I love the opening. Oh, yes. Yes. I don't know what is so zesty in this fragrance. I don't know if it's that bergamot or the bitter orange, but it like slaps you in the face, but in the best way. It's slapping you with optimism. But if you have ever used the Irish Spring bar of soap, that is the opening to this. Then it settles down to this juicy pear and this sweet honeysuckle. We also have some playful florals in this fragrance. We have grapefruit blossom, which gives a little bit of that grapefruit zing without ever being too much, ever being too bitter. Sometimes I find that grapefruit in general can be a hit or miss in a fragrance. Like it can almost be too overbearing and can turn any fragrance into a grapefruit fragrance. But the grapefruit blossom is just the perfect addition to this. Mimosa is a yellow floral. It tends to be powdery. It tends to have this honey nuance. Sweet pea is a very soft, innocent floral. So I think that the notes are just perfect. They play so perfectly together. And then we have white cedar to again ground the entire fragrance. This isn't too woody either. The cedar is also quite soft. So in general, this is just a very nice fruity floral, or fresh floral I should say. Definitely more fresh floral. Definitely much more of a fresh floral. So that is Ariel Shoshana's Friday. And this cap is wooden. I love her customized caps. So next up, we have Leas Jasmine Yucatan. Leas Jasmine Yucatan. If you're a fan of jasmine, you have to get your nose on this. This is Lara Croft from Tomb Raider in a bottle. And this is what she smells like. This has this unique humidity to the fragrance. It smells lush. It literally smells like a rainforest. We have this really interesting note of snake plant. And the jasmine is just absolutely breathtaking. This is like a tropical take on this jasmine. And it's very creamy. This jasmine definitely reminds me of the jasmine in Alien, which is just intoxicating. This isn't a indolic jasmine. This is a very sensual jasmine. So let's see. I love the description. It says jungle, humidity, snake plants, jasmine, yucateco, crocodile by the cenote, shaded temple, limestone ruins. So the notes are top notes of water, passion flower, and bergamot. Heart notes are jasmine, yucateco, sambac, and clove. And the base notes are snake plant, vetiver, and copal. Copal is a type of incense. And the copal just gives like a slight smokiness. Nothing aggressive at all. Jasmine Yucatan is honestly my favorite jasmine fragrance. Alien used to be my favorite, but now it is definitely Jasmine Yucatan. This is a little bit aquatic, a little tropical, a little green. You could smell the lush greens. You could smell the water droplets on the plants. You could smell the sweat, the humidity, a little bit of smokiness, a little bit of spice. But the creamy, sensual jasmine definitely is the star of the show. This is really good stuff. Okay, next up we have a designer fragrance. This is Marc Jacobs Daisy Uso Fresh Pop. This is the only one that I have in my collection. I decluttered the other ones. This collection came with 2 others, but I stayed with this one because I found that this was the most unique one in my collection and the one that really just embodied what I personally like to wear. And I love the bottle. So I wanted to stay with at least one of them. But this was limited edition. I don't know if you can still find this particular collection. I wouldn't say that this is groundbreaking or anything, but it really is pretty. I don't have anything like this in my collection, So it is a win for me. This is like a fruity fresh floral. It starts out fruity with like a raspberry and lime note, and you get that straight away. And then you get the fresh florals after. Bursting with refreshing lemon, pear, and lime, Marc Jacobs Daisy Oh So Fresh Pop presents a juicy and unexpectedly gourmet fragrance, housed in a limited edition matte pink bottle. Okay, so the notes. We have top notes of lemon with pear and lime accords, and the middle is rose with raspberry and violet accords, and the base is musk and crystal moss with cedarwood accord. It's that moss that gets me every time. Yeah, this is quite fresh. I personally smell the raspberry and lime. I know that there's also pear. I guess a little bit of the pear I can smell. And lemon. Very interesting. But it is quite fruity at the top. And then I would say that the violet is more of like a violet leaf rather than the actual violet flower. And rose. The rose, I don't really smell too much rose. To me, it's definitely more of a prominent violet leaf. But yeah, really, really beautiful. I love to layer this with other fragrances. It's fresh, but quite soft. It definitely smells like a Marc Jacobs fragrance, for sure. So there is that. Then I think this is the last one, I want to say. But this is from Bjork and Berries, and this is Never Spring. Never Spring smells like a blackberry and lemon lemonade. It smells like a juice. It smells like you can drink it. And if there was ever any perfume that I would drink, it would be this one. It smells so good. Let's read what it says. Never Spring is inspired by a longing for spring that never seems to arrive. Suddenly the sun becomes warm enough to awaken blossoming trees. The days grow longer, and usually toward the evening, the sky takes on a deep blue, almost warm tone. So the scent notes, top notes of lemon, blackberry, and peach. The heart is jasmine, cyclamen, and bamboo, and the base is musk, cedarwood, and amber. I do get a little bit of the bamboo. Bamboo gives this water-like translucency to the fragrance, a little bit of greenness, and I smell the musk. And I love blackberry and musk together. It's such an amazing combo. What I love about this fragrance that even though lemon and blackberry and even peach is at the top, the fruitiness of this fragrance really stays throughout the entirety of the wear. Yeah, this is good. This is good. This is a really unique, fruity, musky fragrance. I think that this is unisex as well. It's a very happy scent, very happy, but with that muskiness It's also quite like sensual as well. I love their bottles. I just love the iconic red cap. It's very different, very different. Okay. And lastly, I just wanted to share that I typically wear most of my fragrances with the Lake and Sky 1111 perfume oil. This is pretty much like musk and amber, and really warms up nicely on the skin. I also have the body oil as well. I'm almost done with the body oil. But if you're into like clean girl scents, then you need Lake and Sky 1111 in your life. It's leaking a little bit, waste not. But this just warms up on your skin so nicely. We'll describe this as a skin scent, but I wear this alone sometimes and I still get compliments. But it just smells like clean, warm skin. It's ethereal. It's crisp as well. I know that there is Lake and Sky 1111 Azure. There's also a 1111 Vanilla. I'm probably not gonna get that one just because I like the fact that this is not a vanilla scent, so I don't really want to add vanilla to it. I have tried Azure, and Azure is more ozonic, more aquatic. My favorite is just the OG, the original. So those are some of the summer scents that I have tried. I was going to share some of my body sprays, but it's already far too long. But do you guys like that my nails match my shirt? This was actually not planned. I was actually quite surprised that I even had a tank top that matched my nails. But okay, I digress. Thank you all for spending time with me today. I hope that this was relaxing or entertaining in some way.